This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. We're kicking it with Cam Stewart, Paul Bovey in the house. So Drake May is we know that Caleb Williams is going to be the number one pick, guys. He's going to be, all right, for people tuning in. So the question is, who's going to be the second and who's going to take him? And that's what it was fascinating about betting the NFL draft is the handicap of trades and stuff. But I think all three of us here are in agreement that we believe, I don't know, Cam, you think that they should keep Justin Fields, but it's not really what we think. I think that, it's not really about Justin Fields, but I do believe that the Bears are going to keep the pick. I think they see Caleb Williams as their Patrick Mahomes. Fields has been there. Fields is good, but Fields has been there, and they think that, listen, he hasn't taken us to the next level yet, right? We're going to move on here, that Williams is too good. And not to mention, there's going to be a market for Fields as well. So they're going to get more picks for that. They have their pick. They have Carolina's pick. Like, they're going to get picks for Fields. They got picks and players. Like, the Bears are in a good spot. So let's say hypothetically that happens. Then the Washington Commanders are on the clock, Paul, with the second pick. Drake May's minus 150. So Drake May followed up Sam Howell at North Carolina. So you're just going to keep taking North Carolina quarterbacks? Like, exactly. Sam Howell had better numbers than Drake May did. Cam, seriously. Like, Sam Howell had better numbers. So I get that Drake May throws the ball and looks the part sometimes. Jaden Daniels is plus 160 to be the second pick in the draft. Then there's a drop-off to Marvin Harrison Jr. at 12-1. What do you think, Paul?
All right, first of all, I didn't say Mitch Trubisky was a loser financially, but I think you expect more given his draft slot, okay?
Yeah, but that's not his fault. That's not his fault that teams traded up for him. It's not his fault. That's the team's fault.
All I'm saying is...
Shout out to everyone joining us on Sirius.
All right, all I'm saying is, okay, financially speaking, he's a winner. And so is Chase Daniel out of, Missouri or whatever?
Yeah.
The guy's been
he's
around.
He's been in the league 80 years, that guy.
Yeah, he's been in the league 80 years. He's probably thrown 35 passes in the regular season and racked up how many tens of millions.
You're being hard on Chase Daniels. He's come in and done some good things, Paul. Put the brakes on. By the way, the Bears
we
have
got a Super Bowl ring again.
In the
Blaine
league.
Gabbert's on the Chiefs.
Blaine Gabbert. Another Mizzou product, Gabe. But here's the thing. We'll get over Justin Fields. The guy is a wicked quarterback. You know what? He never gets time. He's running for his life. Nobody can play in front of that offensive line. The Bears' offensive line.
I didn't finish about Justin Fields. First of all, the Bears should not get rid of Justin Fields.
Agreed.
You're taking Caleb Williams is a chance. I don't put a lot of stock in Pac-12 quarterbacks. I understand. There's been some successes along the way. Notably, the L.A. Chargers have enjoyed some but generally speaking, they don't pan out very well. And I've seen signs of this guy that he just might not be all that he's cracked up to be. So I think Justin Fields is headed in the right direction. The trajectory is up, and I would hold on to Fields. I think I could see a lot of improvement there. But he's making strides, and they could just get a bounty for that pick, and that's what I would do and build around him because that defense really stepped up in the last 5 games. They got better all around, and I would not trade Justin Fields. No way.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I can't argue with the point of it. I'm a Justin Fields fan. I think he's good as well. I don't think he's had a good offensive line or a lot to work with around him. But at the same point in time, we're not the ones making a decision. And they like Caleb Williams. Everybody's in love with Caleb Williams from his athletic standpoint. I think there are question marks about him and his personality, his character. Is he going to be able to handle failure? I mean, they lost a couple of games. He's breaking down in tears. Like, you're going to lose. You're going to lose in the NFL, right? You get ready to get your ass handed to you, kid, right? You know what I'm saying?
Lots of tears in Chicago.
If you were crying in L.A. with the Trojans, Trojan fans a lot nicer than Bear fans are.
He's going to get a Kleenex contract. He's going to be in tears every day. I
don't mind emotion crying after a tough loss in a championship game and stuff. Like, I'm not calling him out for that.
What he is too, Gabe?
He's a diva. Let's just call it out for what it is. He's
not
a diva.
Just that. he does incredible things, but he also makes a lot of bonehead plays too. We watch these Trojan games. He does some crazy stuff sometimes. Very electrifying, but we'll see. I'm kind of with Paul on this one. I think the jury's out.
He's the closest thing to Patrick Mahomes, though, since Patrick Mahomes. From a physical, sidearm, on the fly. Yeah. Oh, my God, look at that play.
Mahomes is cooler under pressure. Way cooler under pressure. Way.
Okay, I don't know. You know what?
And as I stated, we're not the ones making a decision. I'm just saying. So
he crapped out against Notre Dame. We've seen some.
I love Bovey. This guy's the best.
I'm not.
You crapped out against the Irish.
I'm not buying in. I'm not all in on this.
So you're
guy.
not a believer.
I'm not.
Hey, listen, J.J. McCarthy's the best quarterback in this class. I'm telling you guys right now. He's going to be the one who's going to win.
I don't want to sound crazy, Morency. I think Caleb Williams, I'm kind of with Paul. I think he could be a bust, but that's just my personal opinion. I would not take him.
All right, so you guys are on the record, though. So just save this tape, Tommy R. in Master Control
in
3 years when this kid wins the Super Bowl.
But just remember one thing. I was wrong. One horrible take I had in my life. I thought Ryan Leaf was going to be better than Manning. But let's give ourselves the old Barry Horowitz, Gabe. We told you Lamar Jackson, when me and you were doing Red Heat and Rage, radio when they owned that damn horse. Yeah, but we said he was better than all the quarterbacks, and we were right.
Mason, wait a second. Let's go back to Mason Rudolph. How many years was
we never were talking about Mason Rudolph. What do you mean go back to it? We never talked about
Mason Rudolph, Bovey.
He wants out of Pittsburgh. He asked for his release. He wants a fresh start, he said.
Bovey's Mason Rudolph's agent on the side. He knows something. I love you, Paul.
Listen.
Justin Fields, sorry. Let me just say that Justin Fields.
Rudolph for the last 3 years, they held him captive. And all of a sudden they let him loose, and now notice they let go of Mitch Trubisky, and they're, obviously adorned with Mason Rudolph.
It changed with the Myles Garrett incident, Paul. That changed everything for Rudolph. It was almost like there was a personal vendetta against this guy for a while. And then after a while, they're like, you got to play him.
No, he's just not that good. He had a couple of good games. Let's just call it out for what it is.
Come on.
Okay. Just being
Sour
real.
grapes. Sour grapes.
Sour grapes.
I got nothing against Mason Rudolph.
Oh, no.
But what?
Put a Mason Rudolph rookie card under your pillow,
pick of the draft. So
yes.
Jaden Daniels. So Dan Quinn is the coach there now. What kind of quarterback is he going to want? I'm telling you, J.J. McCarthy's going to go a lot higher, than people think. That's going to be the big. That's going to be the first. That's going to be the first big surprise of the draft. Jaden Daniels. So, Paul, what's your pick? Jaden Daniels, second pick of the draft, and not Drake May?
My pick is Jaden Daniels, second pick of the draft.
All right, hang in here, Paul. We'll just keep Paul for a couple more minutes. We'll get Kurtz on on the next segment after this. I just want to talk a little NBA. We'll throw a couple of these draft props out there. Listen, Justin Fields, I get it. They like him. People like him. You guys like him. They're going to trade him. They're going to trade him.
They'll regret it.
The question is where.
$200 million in the state of New York in sports betting, half of that going to the state. All thumbs up, I guess, across the board here, right?
Yeah, New York just continues to be the standard bearer for the industry. People are betting a ton on NFL. We've still got March Madness coming up. This is really the prime time for the U.S. sports calendar with the NFL playoffs, Super Bowl, and then, college basketball, NBA, NHL in full swing.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy? Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I don't. You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
That's not a purse or man bag. It's a hat bag.
This is it. Look, I love it. I got to go everywhere. And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity, and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Scoring 19.7 points per game, 13.1 rebounds, and 8.2 assists. How can a center that is top 50 in scoring, first in rebounding, 7th in assists, and 8th in field goal percentage not make the All-Star team? That is such a huge snub for Domantas Sabonis.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
That's been to a sporting event. The atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency, so I can't wait to really start breaking down this draft. Our boy Rick Saratella and I always have a lot of fun with this. So, yeah, Drake May's minus 150 to be the second pick, and Drake May's a polarizing quarterback. So a lot of these, they all are. We're in an era right now where everybody is, right? These guys, Caleb Williams isn't all that and this. People underestimate my boy J.J. McCarthy all the time. People could be overhyping Drake May. Everyone's sort of forgotten about Bo Nix and Michael Penix. You got Jaden Daniels, who some people, people are all over the place on Jaden Daniels. But as I always remind people, it's not what we think. We got to bet what the general managers are going to do, not what we think. We're not the ones in charge of evaluating these players. They are. So Jaden Daniels plus 160 to be the second pick. Cam, would you take Jaden Daniels if you were the Washington Commanders with the second pick in the draft?
I would take Jaden Daniels first, but I'm not a general. If I
you
was
would
a
take
general
Jaden Daniels
manager,
over Caleb Williams?
Damn right I would, without even hesitation.
So it's a hot take.
Louis
Riddick today, who's a big draft
I really
guru.
feel that way. I
can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with that. He's got a better
that guy play every single drive. He is so special. Like his athleticism, his will. I just think I'm telling you, I just love this kid. And
the thing you can argue for him, the argument you can make for Daniels over Williams is that he did it against better competition in the SEC as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, true.
Right, he played better defenses than Pac-12 defenses. They're playing in the SEC, but NFL, they're kind of like they get locked and set in their way they think, man. And the way they look at Daniels is, you'll hear from like scouts and people, they'll say, how come he only got good now? How come he wasn't like good before? Right? Like they'll basically say Caleb Williams has been good his entire life.
I think that's a counterintuitive argument. Sometimes people grow in life.
I'm saying but they look at it that way. But that's why Brock Purdy fell to the seventh round, right? And the guy's in the Super Bowl. I'm not saying their science works, but I'm telling you that's how they think about this stuff.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker, same thing. Everybody loved Hendon Hooker last year. They're like, whatever, he's 25. Like, we don't like him.
Yeah.
I'm just
Cam just made a great point. I want the guy on the improve. I want to see progress. If a guy's plateauing, if he's not moving up, he's going to be another Dak Prescott.
You should draft a player on what he's going to do, not what he's done. Right?
That's the whole point. And I don't even think it's that far of a stretch. Like I prefer. I think Jaden Daniels is significantly better than Williams. That's my opinion. That's my take. I don't know if it's hot. That's how I feel. I've watched them both play, and I'd rather have Daniels.
Attitude counts. Attitude counts a lot in this sport, a lot as a quarterback. And I just think that Daniels has a better attitude. You can just tell he's composed.
Got to be a team guy. It can't be all about you. That's the whole thing, right? You can't. Wah. Like, that's the whole thing. Look at guys that are successful on the team, right? You got to bring everybody together. The quarterback's the most important part of and you got to make everybody perform as a unit. It can't be about you. It's about everybody else. And if we're all successful, we all win. It's like a band of brothers mentality, and Daniels has it. I'm not sure if Williams does.
Here you go. Team to draft Jaden Daniels. New England Patriots, plus 120. They've got the third pick.
If he goes to plus the Patriots, oh, God, they're going to have another. Here we go.
Washington Commanders, plus 250. They've got the second pick. Atlanta Falcons, 7-1. They've got the 8th pick. Raiders, 9-1. Raiders have like the 13th pick. I don't think Jaden Daniels will last that long. Denver Broncos, 11-1. Minnesota Vikings, 13-1.
No way. He's not.
I'd like Seattle to trade up and get Jaden Daniels. It'd be a dream.
Yeah, trades
Dream on,
can change.
Baby. Put that under your pillow.
I will, Paul. You're right. Please bring us a good
Cam, I'll make your night, Cam, right now. No, I'll give Cam something to really put under his pillow. Seattle Seahawks take all these picks that they just traded Russell Wilson for, give them to the Chicago Bears, and get Justin Fields as your new quarterback in Seattle.
Hey, I'll take that as well. Gino took the bag, Morency. He wasn't the same after that. He's like, yeah, year of my life. And then I'm like, hey, Gino looks different this year. Hey,
there's talk of Seattle wanting to draft a quarterback to stash. Not start him right away, but they have Gino for another year, and then they push Gino out the door after.
I read all the Seahawks stuff, Gabe. They were talking about Milton from Tennessee because they're not like where they stand in the draft, kind of one of those guys, Rattler, whatever. I'd love to see them move up. But, yeah, you're right, Paul. Put it under my pillow. It's not happening. There you go.
So, Paul, before we get you out of here.
You got a better chance at Jim Zorn coming back.
I'm looking right now. They got props up for a lot of the big players here. Where's Brock Bowers? My guy, J.J. McCarthy. Raiders are plus 550. Minnesota Vikings are plus 550. Denver Broncos are 6-1. Rams are 8-1. Seahawks 10-1 to draft J.J. McCarthy. I have McCarthy going to the Vikings or the Broncos, right? In that 11-12 type of spot. But the way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if he jumps this. And suddenly he's like the third quarterback taken. It'll be Caleb. That's my take. That the order of quarterbacks taken will be Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, then J.J. McCarthy. I think Drake May will fall further than people think. Not like Will Levis all the way to the second round, but I think that Drake May will fall to the late teens type thing, Cam, early 20s type of deal.
To your point, though, do people not watch Michigan and McCarthy under pressure, and he's a great athlete?
Oh, he's not getting any love.
Some of these idiots online, like, do you watch football? Do you see what he can do? Sure, he'll miss. Like, guy's a great athlete, and he's tough as nails. He used to play hockey and stuff. Like, you know what? I'd love to have that guy. Like, I just some of these guys with their takes, it's like, what are you talking about?
He's going to go high, Cam. Yeah, but JJ doesn't care. He's going to end up getting drafted pretty high. I mean, like I said, do the Commanders surprise people? Like, do the Patriots, like how this thing goes high at the top, and then somebody's going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. So, just for the record, Marvin Harrison Jr., Arizona Cardinals, minus 220.
Yep. That's
Chicago Bears, plus 500.
Arizona doesn't need a quarterback. Like, Harrison's going to the Cardinals. That's a bet. Like, I'd even lay juice with that bet. I wish the number was a little bit lower, but
you can't lay juice with this stuff. The thing is, though, if trades happen, let's say the Bears start trading picks and stuff, and the Bears already have a ton of picks, they could somehow end up. Like, a good example is, let's say Washington gives the Bears their second pick in the draft because they want to get Caleb Williams. Then suddenly the Bears take Marvin Harrison Jr. And let's just say they keep Justin Fields and they trade the pick. Then suddenly Marvin Harrison Jr. is going second overall. right? And he's 12. Just for the record, he's 12-1 to go second overall right now. You've got to think outside the box about these. Like, if he gets traded, then they trade the pick. We're not guaranteed. You know what I mean? We don't know what they're going to do. The Bears. I think they're going to take Williams, but they could trade the pick. The whole thing is supposedly they asked for like 5 first-round picks.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So the thought was that they were trying to just scare teams off, and or if you really want to get crazy. The thing is, man, the Panthers gave up a lot to get Bryce Young. So the market's already been set for this, Paul.
Yeah, well, I got NBA if you want any.
What do you got for us?
Okay. I just want to remind the folks out there that the last time I was on, I gave the Orlando Magic over the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they won outright.
That's
so
true.
we're on a heater here. Okay.
You're reminding us about an NBA pick from 2 weeks ago? You're
no,
better
but then again, he admits when he's wrong, too, so it's a fair, it's like the scales of justice.
That's
what he
I
is.
came in 2 weeks ago because I wasn't on the show last week.
What was the Knicks' final score today? Orlando by 20?
So the Knicks have lost 5 out of 6.
Put that on
we
your
have
pillow.
injuries. And
Let's hear about the freaking Doberman. You're biting Bobby's arm.
Hartenstein is out. We got guys out. But the Utah Jazz exact revenge on the Warriors tomorrow night at home in Salt Lake. We'll take down the Warriors off this Clipper game tonight.
I love the angle. Thank you very much, Paul Bobby.
Later, Paul.
Okay, guys.
Yeah. Hey.
Over $200 million in the state of New York in sports betting, half of that going to the state. All thumbs up, I guess, across the board here, right?
Yeah, New York just continues to be the standard bearer for the industry. People are betting a ton on NFL. We still got March Madness coming up. This is really the prime time for the U.S. sports calendar with the NFL playoffs, Super Bowl, and then college basketball, NBA, NHL in full swing.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy? Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I don't.
You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has
a hat bag. I have a hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
That's not a purse
or
man bag.
It's
a
hat
ridiculous.
bag. This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
Hey, by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Scoring 19.7 points per game, 13.1 rebounds, and 8.2 assists. How can a center that is top 50 in scoring, first in rebounding, 7th in assists, and 8th in field goal percentage not make the All-Star team? That is such a huge snub for Domantas Sabonis.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
That's been to a sporting event. The atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
This is Sports Rage. I am Morency. We're kicking it live here. It's great to be back. It's the Wicked Wednesday. We still got the Rage Red Cam Stewart's golf picks coming up. He's fired up for the Genesis. Turn it on, turn it on, turn it on again. Dun, 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 dun. It's always a song I think of about Genesis.
Yeah, you always play that one. You always do that Genesis song. And one of the only bands where both guys went solo and crushed it as solo artists. Good stuff.
That is true. That is true. What other Genesis song is there?
They have a million.
Abigail, No Son of Mine, The Brazilian.
Oh, look at George. George coming out hot.
Genesis fan, Chris?
Genesis. George is down in the basement watching Dallas Cowboy VHSs and Genesis records.
My favorite band.
Are they really? Wow, George.
What's the other one? Oh, think twice. It's just another day for you and me in paradise. Is that them or is that Phil Collins?
That's separate. That's solo career.
Couldn't tell.
Who do you like more, Gabriel or Collins? You're a Collins guy, I bet, Kurtz. Are you?
I mean, Peter Gabriel's solo stuff is better than his Genesis stuff, and Collins is, in my mind, his Genesis is better than his solo stuff. Although I think he's great solo. But I've seen them both in concert a few times.
That's fair.
I think it's fantastic.
That's a fair assessment.
Peter Gabriel's solo stuff is better than all of their stuff, in my opinion.
In my opinion as well.
It is true, though. That's like a trade, though, that they both won. It is true, Ken.
I agree. Yep.
Like it was like Genesis went on and were massive. And
they became more pop. They became more pop with Phil.
Yeah.
You know one thing about Genesis? I Don't Care Anymore, which is obviously like the song, Phil Collins.
That's also, Phil, great song. Great song to drive at night when you're just angry and pissed at the world.
You know what's crazy, though? It could have been a Genesis song. He played it for Genesis. He goes, hey, guys, check this out. And they were like, meh, no. And it pissed him off. So he was like, all right. Yeah. He just sort of stashed it, and he did it himself.
Smart.
You know what I mean? Right? The Rutherford guy told that story. He goes, I'm not too proud of the fact that I thought it was stupid. We're rocking the hoodie here for the Super Bowl. Pretty good one, actually. I was just looking. I wore it under a jacket the other day. I never wore it, but I'm a big fan, Cam, of the I love the conference patches on these things.
So do I.
It's always great.
Love the conference patches. Reminds me of the old Pro Bowl, Morency. Conference patches,
exactly.
Good times. You know what? They got to do more of that
purple,
stuff.
too. It looked good.
Yeah,
like it actually looks
color.
like the works on it. Yeah.
And you know what you said? You showed me the starter logo.
Nice and simple.
Starter's a wicked company, man. I bought my first Seahawks coat. It's a starter. My dad
that's
still
rare.
He was rocking that thing. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Like, look, it's nice written. Super Bowl, Las Vegas. Like, it's not all like, you know what I mean?
It's like calligraphy. Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this side's got the traditional. Yeah, it's a slick hoodie. I'm looking at it. Like, sometimes I buy things and I'm like, whatever. Shouldn't have bought it or whatever. This is actually like, pretty cool. But
I'm gonna
check
look
the
for
jacket
one online.
out.
Nice.
The jacket out. The jacket is sick, though.
I love the Vegas in the back.
I'll show you the back in a second.
That's so amazing.
So you got this logo here. You got that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, this is
you
cool
got
on this side.
Merchandise this year. Good stuff.
Yeah, this side here, nice. All right, look at that. The Super Bowl. It says Super Bowl on it. Yeah. You got the patches, Cam. AFC on one side, AFC on the other.
Got to hand it to you. You hit the right stuff.
This is better than the 8-ball or any NASCAR jacket. So the front's all slick NFL, then the back.
better than the 8-ball.
Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. That back is so cool. That's wicked. I love it. So Vegas.
Oh, yeah. People were fans of it. What do you think, Kurtz? Jacket too blingy for it? A little bit too much?
It's nice though.
Oh, I like the jacket more than the hoodie. I think my youngest daughter would say that jacket drips, I think is the term.
Yeah, drip.
I have no idea what
drip.
Oh, you know what that means?
Yes.
I had no idea what that means when she said a pair of sneakers that I bought where they drip. Like,
I listen a lot, George, to these little kids because my I got these younger people around and the family in the complex, so little words that you pick up on. But yeah, it means like really hot, good styles.
Yeah, no, that jacket.
Clean is another one, George. Clean.
Yeah, clean.
I would say fire. It's on fire. You know, I think the jacket looked great on the McAfee show. I think that's where I first saw you wear it. I thought it's a jacket I would wear. How about that?
Love that coat.
Yeah, I only wore it there. I wore it at MGM the night after, but I kind of boxed myself in. I wore that crazy Hollywood Super Bowl jacket with the red, like, Evel Knievel stuff on the back my first time. So now the big thing is the jacket on a McAfee show. So every city I'm in for the Super Bowl, I've got to scour the city and get a jacket that, like, no one has or seen, like, type thing that I like. It's cool. I had a harder time this time. I saw Sharapan had like 50 of them. And I was like, yeah, I mean, nothing. It wasn't like, they look good on him. I'm just saying it wasn't like for me. And I had a problem. And I never get them, actually. Rarely get them at the fan zone where you think I would get them. You got to walk the streets and stuff and just sort of poke around. And I got all my stuff at Lids, the sports store Lids. Biggest Lids in America now, actually. It's on the Las Vegas Strip. It's a new Lids. It's pretty cool. It's like 3 floors. It's like massive. And they had a ton of sick stuff. But even the jacket I got was like buried under stuff. And like, I knew it was cool because when I walked out, 2 brothers walked up to me right away. And they were like, bro, that's the best jacket. Where'd you get that? They were like, I don't like any of this stuff. And I said, this guy was dripping, as the kids would say, George. His shoes were clean. This guy was all decked out in cool stuff. I was like, I told him, I said, see, I got good taste. And I said, I knew if you like it, I know this is hot. Right?
Dripping.
Like, yeah, it's good. It's clean. I'll let you know, Cam, about the products. They're probably on sale now, too, after the fact.
Yeah, I need to get some better stuff. I ordered a Seattle DK Metcalf jersey on sale, and I got what I paid for. It's basically a towel. Like, I can use it coming out of the shower. I was really disappointed. I don't know what the problem is. I didn't know how to send it back or, like, go through that process. I'm like, lesson learned. Just don't get tricked by a cheap price. Like, buy something that's good. Lesson learned. Don't be cheap.
62-56 for the Warriors right now. Guys, I'm kind of frustrated, Cam. I wanted to jump in on Wyoming, and they were just getting 6.5. I had a feeling that they'd hang around with Utah State tonight. They're actually beating them 60-59 right now. We're on Fresno State plus the points, plus 5 points against UNLV and over 138.5. It's not great right now, but it's not terrible. It's 20-13 for UNLV, and the total is 133.5 in game right now. As far as hockey is concerned, the Minnesota Wild are up 2-0 on the Arizona Coyotes. Kurtz, any action on this game for you?
Yeah, Cam asked me during the break. Yeah, I'm on Minnesota. I'm on the 12 tonight. So I think I got him in a parlay as well, and I won the first part of the parlay with pay. Got to sweat it out, but I won it.
Gabe,
Captain
quickly,
Shock.
I think when you watch the eye test
on Monday night, I went all the the underdogs on Monday night. I lost them all. All right, they all lost.
Think of what works for you, Kurt. You're like the favorite. Some guys bet dogs. Gabe, I watched Minnesota play Vegas when you were like going back, and I'm telling you something, this team looks like they're turning a corner. Like they played a really, really good game. It was very efficient, and maybe they're going to go on a little bit of run. Arizona's a tough place to get wins when you go down to the mullet, but I think Minnesota's maybe a play-on team for a while. We'll see.
Looks like there's frustration with Arizona. I saw during Super Bowl week there was a story about the head of the NHLPA and stuff. They've had enough, like basically, of the Arizona. The team, the players like don't even have any communication with the owners. They don't know anything. It's just a mess. And even Bettman right now, like, is going to have a hard time saving this. Where do they end up is the question. I guess Utah. They'll just send them to Salt Lake, I imagine. You know what? They won't have to change the name. We spent a lot of time talking about their name. Salt Lake Coyotes doesn't suck for a name.
Yeah, you're right. It matches their Coyotes in Utah. Yeah, just
they don't want their own name. They don't want their own nickname.
Why? Do you think so? They might keep Coyotes.
I think they'd want it. Since it's going to be different ownership groups, I think they'd want their own name to separate from the Coyote disaster that's going on here.
Yeah, the NHL would probably want the Coyote name. Just say, Sarah, just bury it. It's done.
Oh, they'll go back. They're gonna listen. They might go back to Atlanta too. They're talking about, right? They'll be back in Arizona someday. Eventually, they'll keep giving it a shot.
Yeah, it's just not working there right now. It's a good sports market, but the ownership group, they just never done it right. So the big news, Cam, was your boy Morgan Riley, the goon. You got 5 games for running the buddy on the Senators there. What did you think? Do you think, Cam, it's a big violation that he took a slap shot into an empty net with 4 seconds left?
Not really, but usually, it's kind of like showmanship and stuff like that. I think differently. I did a show with Wetzel, and Wetzel thought he'd get 20 games. I almost pissed my pants laughing. I'm like, I thought he was going to get 2. He got 5.
I actually look smart here. And once again, it's not what I think. I just predicted what I thought they were going to do. And anyone can find my tweets. I said he'll get 5 games.
Yeah.
I said he'll get 5 games for this. So I was bang on. He got 5. I thought I could have lived with 7. 20, I saw Kornheiser today, too. These people, same thing. He was like 20, half the season. This is goonmanship. Settle down.
Yeah, everyone needs to put the brakes on, man. Come on. Let's get
he didn't even hit him that hard. Basically, if you hit someone in a game and got a penalty, it's harder than what he actually did. And Buddy on Ottawa sort of embellished it a bit and flew back and everything. But you can't have, in my opinion, guys, Cam and George, running at dudes after they score goals.
I agree.
So, the message to me, 5 games is perfect. George, what did you think of this suspension?
I thought
perfect amount of time.
Right. I thought it was about right. I'd always rather more to send a message. You want these things to stop, you might want to send more, but they never do here. A couple of things, though. Greg, after he did it, you have to know you're going to get hit once you do that. You have to know that's coming. Because it is that unwritten rule thing. You don't slap a shot in empty net in, and he did. How do do you not know you're going to get hit after that? Maybe
also, Gabe, we'll talk about this kid. He's got a reputation. He's got a reputation, this kid. And
in fact, the Vancouver Canucks always take slap shots into the empty net. I've seen Austin Matthews do it. So what? It's okay if it's from the blue line, but not closer.
Over $200 million in the state of New York in sports betting, half of that going to the state. All thumbs up, I guess, across the board here, right?
Yeah, New York just continues to be the standard bearer for the industry. People are betting a ton on NFL. We've still got March Madness coming up. This is really the prime time for the U.S. sports calendar with the NFL playoffs, Super Bowl, and then, college basketball, NBA, NHL in full swing.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I don't have as many hats as you, but I don't.
You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
That's not a purse or man bag. It's a hat
ridiculous.
bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Scoring 19.7 points per game, 13.1 rebounds, and 8.2 assists. How can a center that is top 50 in scoring, first in rebounding, 7th in assists, and 8th in field goal percentage not make the All-Star team? That is such a huge snub for Domantas Sabonis.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
That's been to a sporting event. The atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. So as far as the Morgan Riley stuff, I understand. I said about the unwritten code and stuff. That whole rule book and unwritten stuff. I mean, what is it? And we're in a new era right now anyways. I always took, and, being around Frank Robinson was pretty cool. And we're talking about a guy that was around the game forever, only person ever to be the most valuable player in the National League and the American League, first black manager in Major League Baseball history. I think, great friends with Al Davis and Bill Cosby. I think the guy has seen some things, right?
Yeah, he's seen things.
Yeah. That's good. It's nice that he introduced me to Bill Cosby, too.
And Bill Cosby.
But, it was one of his boys. But he stole a base. It was like 7-2, 7-1, 7-2. They stole a base late in a baseball game. Dusty Baker flipped out. And Frank and Dusty are friends, too. And Frank, after the game, said, only Frank can somehow take a shot at his own team by saying, I don't know what Dusty's so upset about. I guess he's never seen my bullpen pitch. That's what Frank said after the game. So, throws his bullpen under the bus, but then went on to say, basically, did Dusty say, someone said, what about the code? You guys were up by 8 runs or something, and you stole a base. And he said, I don't know. He goes, Dusty never sent me any contract to the dugout that said they were going to try to stop scoring. And then Frank sort of started ramping it up a bit, saying, I've been in the game for 50 years. I hear all you people that never played talk about codes. He goes, I don't know any codes. He goes, I never seen one effing book of my life. He started going off about your codes, and there's no unwritten rule book, and that's just stupid, and that's in movies and stuff. And he goes, then he goes, do you see my bullpen? He goes, do you think I'm safe? And he threw Rocky Biddle under the bus. He goes, my bullpen blew a 5-run lead the other night. He started throwing the bullpen under the bus. Yeah, Rocky Biddle came.
What a blast.
He goes, have you seen my bullpen? He was like, they blew a 5-run lead the other night. He goes, I'm not going to stop scoring. Right? He went off
Rocky
for 20
Biddle
minutes about it.
He was flammable.
Rocky Biddle, former Chicago White Sox and Montreal Expo closer.
Dude, that guy was an absolute, he was a gas can.
Yeah, it used to be like, oh, God.
Hopefully
he's on tonight. Yeah, it's one of those things.
Walk the bases loaded. Oh, geez. Rocky Biddle.
Yeah, Rocky. There's a blast from the past. Random baseball name. Rocky Biddle.
Great memories. I love it.
Yeah.
So you know who Don today, right?
Who?
Speaking of the random baseball name, Don Gullett passed away today.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
73 years old.
Our condolences to his family. Tragic stuff in Kansas City today, obviously, too. 75-65. Warriors on an 11-2 run right now in the last 2:57. But I understand both sides of this Riley stuff. So I get it. And like you were going to say, Cam, Buddy on the Senators has a big mouth. And he's a smaller dude. He runs his mouth all the time at people. He doesn't want to fight people. I know he chirps a lot on the ice. That's the modern NHL player, bro, because they know they're never going to get punched in the face.
Great point,
no
Gabe.
one's ever
Ridley Gregg is a guy.
Everyone just chirps and slashes and chirps and slashes, and right? So he's running his mouth. Riley's a good guy. Riley just said, F this kid. I'm going to mess him up, right? Like he had enough.
You know what it was? It's one of those things because, and if you talk to other people in the hockey circles, this guy's like kind of a cheap shot guy. You said it, Morency, like really annoying, runs his mouth. Kind of like Marchand. Like, on the Bruins, a guy that, like, if he's on your team, you love him. Everybody else hates him. And Morgan Riley, he actually is a really chill dude.
That's a good point. Because the Senators do like this guy. I heard that. They said, no, the teammates actually do like him because he's spirited.
Gabe, if we had a guy like Marchand on our team, he's our best friend. The league hates him.
He's old school.
Yes. He's one of these guys. Ken Linsman, the Rat. Like, he's just a guy that likes to stir it up. And Riley just lost his mind for a while. I thought he was going to get 3 or 4. 5 is efficient. You guys are both correct. But, it is what it is.
I think it's a little bit of overreaction. It's, you know, remember, it's sort of like guys in basketball, Cam, like you enjoyed, like if somebody dunks late in a game, you know what I mean? That, like, there's 2 seconds left. I don't have to score, but I'm just going to throw down a thunderous dunk. That pisses people off in basketball. I don't know why.
Yes.
George, in a football analogy, it happens in college all the time. I think, Cam, a good analogy would be college football. When teams, like, just run it up on you. You know what I mean? And people cry after, George, you know, you guys threw the ball when you were winning 58-0. Like, you threw for a touchdown pass.
There's analogies in every sport. Swinging on a 3-0 fastball when you're up 8 runs in baseball. Football, you said, when the game is over, you don't
but that's stupid. They're all stupid rules.
I would agree.
They're all stupid.
I would agree, but players don't like that. The game's over. Why are you still trying to kill that sort of thing? But what you said with Frank Robinson is perfect. I'm sorry. Did I get a notarized letter saying the game's over?
They're not playing for participation ribbons. They're professional athletes. If I want to beat the crap out of you, I'm going to beat the crap out of you. What a boxing
And if
fight?
you're a Senators fan, you love that explanation point at home. Screw you, Toronto. Boom.
That's the thing.
You know what I mean? You're playing to your crowd, man.
Yes.
You know?
You understand that game? Like, there's more Leaf fans there. Like, Senator fan has had enough. Like, they get to our building, show up, and
they
do
watch
something.
TV
That's
every day. It's
thing.
never about them. It's about the Leafs all the time.
It
Blah,
is.
blah, 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 blah. Right? So, like, they had enough.
Honest to God, man. No.
That's why I said it.
Their fans. It's true.
I said it. It's a rivalry. Like, if he's doing this all the time, I'd be like, dude, like, you got to chill. Like, you know, if you just did it randomly against the San Jose Sharks. Hey, we beat the Sharks 5-3, and I teed one up in the empty net right in front of the net. No, but you just beat the Leafs. You hate the Leafs. They hate you. Their fans mock you all the time. I don't have a problem with it. It's like part of the rivalry. You know what I mean? To me. Worst things have happened in hockey. To me, the bigger sin is if you try to put the puck in the net, like after the whistle. That's like the jerk move. And they even flip in soccer about that. You know, the snow plow on the goalie cam. That's another one.
Yeah.
Like, there's worse things that happen in games, like little things that people don't talk about.
I don't care about the physical nature of it. Like giving a team a finger or waving by, we beat you. Like stupid little hot dog things like that piss me off more than like regular hockey plays. Like,
well, look at Don Cherry and his hypocrisy, Cam. He loved. Remember, it's Tiger Williams. Tiger Williams used to like skate down the ice, riding the stick like a horse. Remember?
Yeah.
And people loved it. PK Subban was on the Canadiens once, scored an overtime goal against the Leafs, won and stopped and sort of went like this and pointed at the Canadian logo. Don Cherry wanted to have a heart attack. Yeah, I mean, funny how that worked. It's okay with one guy, but another guy, like, it's a lot like baseball, George, in a sense. Hockey would be more popular as well if they eased off this supposed unwritten code stuff, right? And you see in baseball now they are. Like, it used to be a big deal when someone flipped a bat. Now everybody flips bats. Nobody cares, right? It's all part of the game. Like, the younger guys at baseball are sort of winning the battle about, I'm going to do this whether you think it's part of it or not. I'm going to do it anyways. And you got guys like Bryce Harper that encourage it as well, and they're trying to make the game fun. And they always use the NBA as an example about, look at these guys celebrate, like, after they hit a three, or like football. Well, it's not golf, man. Like, you know what I mean? It should be fun baseball. And to me, Cam, hockey, same thing, right? You know what I mean? Like the wraparound goal. I know they call it a Michigan. I hate that. But the wraparound, people get mad about that stuff, George, right? Yeah, that's you're showing off.
Amazing.
Like, you can't do that. It's like,
Tortorella's all mad about
if we did more of that, more people be watching our game, guys. All right? People want to see this stuff. They want to see crazy goals. They want to see fights. They want to see guys slap the shot in an empty net, and they want to see a guy hit him after. That's good for viewing. That's entertainment.
You know what? It'd be great if John Tortorella just shut up and woke up. Guy's not even talking to other media members. Dude, like, this guy's unreal. Like, the fact that he could just, hey, Brooksy, shut up. It's like, listen, dude, the guy has to ask you questions after the game. Get thicker skin, you jerk.
Or any other league can. Like, imagine if you did that, Goodell would, like, flip. He'd be like, you can't tell the media to shut up.
Why isn't that
right?
calling him?
Like,
Like,
you're
you
going to
have
answer
to
his
deal with
question.
this reporter from Philadelphia. I don't care if you hate him. He has a job to do. John Tortorella is such a child. That guy's such a clown.
New York Post, Larry Brooks.
He is a big hypocrite. Great call, George.
He's not coaching.
Yeah, of course he does.
Hypocrite, liar. I know we could go on all day. That guy's the worst.
Like Joe Girardi. Girardi's the same way, right? He got fired from the Yankees.
He's a jerk with the media, and then he's all,
he does.
Hey, how you doing?
Joe Girardi's doing the games this year, right? He's been hired as the analyst, huh?
Yeah.
So this reporter so what do you think about that, George? Not happy?
I mean,
not happy. It's kind of weird to me that you just got fired and you're going to be the.
I'm probably thinking of more when he was the manager, when he wouldn't tell you anything. All right, I mean, he told you nothing, and this is why he ticked off all the Yankee media writers, because he wouldn't tell you anything. You know, a guy could have had his leg amputated. Well, he's day to day with an ankle injury. You know, that's what he would tell you every time. And what's it? Cashman want them to be more open. Maybe not tell you every little detail, but be more open. And he wouldn't do it. Then he and Wallace Matthews are going to do a big fight, and that was the end for Girardi here. He may be a much better analyst, on the broadcast. Maybe he'll be better, but as a manager and those interviews, hated him.
Morency, this is insane, George. So a player goes to a media conference, right, and hates a reporter or whatever, he gets fined. But Tortorella could say, I'm not talking to him, or this guy. You want to talk about a double standard? It's ridiculous. Players have to go and do stuff. Or, old Gary, hey, man, you got to answer this, you got to do it. But the coach can just do whatever the hell he wants? It's a friggin' joke. That guy is like
it's
a
in
complete embarrassment.
It's in the player's contracts. I don't know if it's in the coach's contracts, but it's in the player's contracts.
Oh, it better be. Yeah, players do.
This is the NFL, by the way. I don't know about the NHL. In the NFL, it's actually in their contracts. That's why Marshawn Lynch just kept saying, well, I'm doing this so I don't get fined. Because it's in their contracts. It's a standard clause.
See the video of Marshawn Lynch in Vegas. I saw Marshawn Lynch a bunch of times. He's got a store, Beast Mode. Yeah. I didn't talk to him, Cam. But you see him, I'll send you a video, bro. He's doing a video where he was walking up to people. He's like, are you a 49er fan? And they're all like, hey, Marshawn Lynch. And he's like, are you a 49er fan? And they're like, yeah. He's like, then F you then. And then he just walks off. And he goes up to 20 different Niner fans telling them to F off. That's the video. That's the video.
That's crazy.
He goes, I can't say it all, but he goes, Doc, you then. And he runs up. Yo, are you a Niner fan? F you. And then he runs up and he's laughing. He's running through the casino. But some people are getting mad. There was one dude. He was like, what'd you say? Some people, they were like, hey, chill, it's Marshawn Lynch. He goes, I don't care. No one tells me to F off. Some other guy was like, yeah, I'm a Niner fan. And they were like, but the thing is, Marshawn was around a lot of people too.
Yeah.
But, he's a nut job, Marshawn Lynch.
Yes, he is. It's very different to tell a big gangbanger that the 49ers suck than throwing Skittles to people in Scotland doing your Skittles commercial, right? You got to pick your
he's
spot.
walking the casino floor. He was, but like I said, it was a questionable video. I'm thinking, dude, I was like, someone's gonna throw a bottle at him or something. Not everyone's gonna be scared of him, right?
Yeah.
He's got a clothes store. I was hoping it was a weed store. I was like, oh, Beast Mode, awesome. It was in Mandalay Bay.
Damn apparel, I wanted weed.
He's got his own weed, right? Beast Mode. So I saw a Beast Mode store, and I was like, no way. He's got a weed store in Mandalay Bay in the shopping atrium in Mandalay Bay. I'm like, awesome. I went in, and it was like hoodies and stuff. He sells Skittles too. He's got all kinds of Skittles in there.
Of course he does. He's Skittles rep. I'll tell you one thing. I bet if Marshawn Lynch was a favorite against you, you know how much money he'd lose? Anyway, I'm betting on you. But his strain must be pretty powerful, I would think, right?
Yeah, it'd be cool. I'd get into it. I imagine. I don't know, Beast Mode. Kyle Turley and Jim McMahon, Super Bowl winning Bear legend. They have their own company. It's now it's legal in 7 states too, as well.
Oh, good.
So that's pretty cool. That is cool. All right, well, we got a break coming up here. More with Kurtz on the other side. I never get to these NHL futures. We'll get into it because I'm looking at some of these division prices right now. There's not that much time left in the regular season, so I don't mind betting them.
$200 million in the state of New York in sports betting, half of that going to the state. All thumbs up, I guess, across the board here, right?
Yeah, New York just continues to be the standard bearer for the industry. People are betting a ton on NFL. We still got March Madness coming up. This is really the prime time for the U.S. sports calendar with the NFL playoffs, Super Bowl, and then college basketball, NBA, NHL in full swing.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
You a hat guy?
Oh, I've got hats. I've got a jillion hats. I hear I don't have as many hats as you, but I don't.
You don't. I have a hat bag.
He has a hat bag.
I have a hat bag. I carry this
that's
around.
That's not a purse or man bag. It's a hat bag.
This is it. Look,
I love it.
I got to go everywhere.
And by the way, the whole Randy Moss receiver versus Randy Moss TV guy, the mistaken identity and all that. How can you confuse us, right? He's got hair. He's got hair, and I don't.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Scoring 19.7 points per game, 13.1 rebounds, and 8.2 assists. How can a center that is top 50 in scoring, first in rebounding, 7th in assists, and 8th in field goal percentage not make the All-Star team? That is such a huge snub for Domantas Sabonis.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
That's been to a sporting event. The atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency, 9180 right now. We're on the Golden State Warriors. Good stuff. Let's get a quick update as far as the college basketball is concerned. I didn't pull the trigger on Wyoming. Maybe it was a good thing. Maybe I'm hot, and I just didn't get in. I'm good. 76-66 right now for Utah State, 58 seconds remaining. We are on Fresno State, plus 5 points against UNLV. Fresno are winning 32-29 outright at the half. I'm on 138, and even 138 over. It's 134.5 at the half right now. So I brought up these hockey futures. Let's start off in the Atlantic Division here. The Boston Bruins are minus 160 to win the division. The Panthers are plus 145 to win a division. The Maple Leafs are 18-1. So, and then whatever. Then is big numbers after the fact. Kurtz, Boston Bruins to win this division. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they'll win the division. I love Florida as the better overall team here, but I think Boston will win the division. I think they'll get better at the deadline as well because they have obvious needs here. I think they'll strengthen up the middle. But Boston, that goaltending dude, all Mark Swayman, I'll take them to win that division again. But I don't think they're going deep in the playoffs, though.
Cam, what do you think? Boston Bruins to win this division at minus 160.
I'm intrigued by Florida, but I'm only getting plus 120, so it's not enough for me. So I would say Boston. Yeah, it's a two-horse race there, Gabe. And, yeah, the Boston Bruins, people can say what they want about this hockey team. With the goaltender that they have with Swayman and Allmark, they're always going to be there.
All right, Cam, you're going to like this parlay here. You're going to like this one, buddy. It's the Morency special.
Right, dude, you're feeling that trip to Vegas. I know you're beat down, but the picks have been pretty good recently. Hey, you're on a little heater. Ride it out, man. Ride it out.
How about this? Boston Bruins to win the division, LA Dodgers to win the NL West, plus 103.
That's how you turn and
dude,
positive.
You're taking a minus 160 into plus 103 with the Dodgers to win the division.
Yeah, I like that bet. It's almost too good.
The only thing I don't like about it, it's an 8-month wait. I can't wait 2 days.
It is.
But
it is.
It's a long wait.
But if you got a plus 103 return on Wall Street in 8 months, they'd give you a raise and they'd put you in a nicer office.
All right.
If you're doubling people's money.
Yeah. The other guy gets fired. You get his office.
Steak knife. Yeah.